Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Alex M123. Thanks for the suggestion, Alex. You asked, why are some hotels missing a 13th floor? If you've ever stepped into an elevator and noticed that the number 13 is suspiciously absent, you might have thought, is this a glitch? Or is there something more going on? Well, today, we're riding straight to the heart of this superstition-fueled mystery. So, if you've ever wondered about the strange case of the missing floor, or how a number can spook entire buildings, stick around as we unravel the fascinating and sometimes funny history behind it. Right here on Explaining Everything. First, let's address the elephant, or should we say ghost, in the room. Triskaidekaphobia. That's the fancy term for the fear of the number 13. Some people see the number 13 and instantly imagine black cats crossing paths, ladders being walked under, and their favorite mirror shattering into a million unlucky pieces. For centuries, 13 has been the uninvited guest at the numerological party, blamed for everything from bad luck to failed soufflés. Now, imagine you're a hotel manager. Your job is to make people feel relaxed, not to have guests clutching their pearls every time they glance at the elevator panel. The solution? Skip the number entirely. Guests feel better, and you get fewer complaints about haunted rooms. Win-win. But why does 13 get such a bad rap? Well, historians love to point fingers at the Last Supper. There were 13 diners at the table, and we all know how that turned out for one of them. Fast forward to Norse mythology, where Loki, yes, Marvel fans, that Loki, crashed a dinner party as the 13th guest and caused all kinds of chaos. Basically, the number 13 is the original party pooper. Then there's Friday the 13th, a day so infamous it spawned a whole horror franchise. Pair the supposed unluckiness of 13 with the end-of-the-week jitters, and you've got a recipe for irrational fear. No wonder hotels decided, you know what? Let's just not. Now, back to the missing floor. It's not just hotels that play this number-skipping game. Office buildings, apartment complexes, and even some hospitals are in on the act. It's as if they all got together and decided to pull a fast one on us. And the funniest part? The 13th floor doesn't actually go anywhere. It's still physically there, lurking between the 12th and 14th floors, like a numerical phantom. But by calling it 14, everyone pretends it's not. You might be wondering, doesn't everyone realize this is just a name change? Sure, but psychology is a weird beast. For many people, simply not seeing 13 makes them feel better. Out of sight, out of mind, problem solved. This brings us to the billion-dollar question. Do bad things actually happen on the 13th floor? Well, let's check the data. Oh, wait, there isn't any. Science hasn't found a shred of evidence that the number 13 is unlucky, let alone that a floor labeled 13 is cursed. But superstitions don't care about facts. They're like that one conspiracy theory-loving uncle at Thanksgiving, loud, persistent, and impossible to reason with. Of course, some hotels have embraced the superstition in hilariously creative ways. There are places that turn their 13th floors into storage spaces, staff-only zones, or even skip straight to 15 just to make sure no one accidentally stumbles upon it. One hotel even transformed its 13th floor into a lucky floor with extra amenities and good vibes. Talk about a rebranding success story. But what about the brave souls who don't believe in bad luck? Surely they'd be happy to stay on the 13th floor, right? Not so fast. Even skeptics might hesitate when faced with the option. Why? Because superstitions have a funny way of sneaking into our brains. It's like when you tell yourself you're definitely not afraid of the dark until you hear a weird creak at 2 a.m. Interestingly, some cultures see 13 as just another number. In Italy, for example, 13 is considered lucky, while 17 gets the side eye. Meanwhile, in China, the number 4 is avoided because it sounds like the word for death. Hotels there might skip the 4th floor entirely. So really, skipping numbers isn't just a Western quirk. It's a global tradition of dodging imaginary bad luck. Of course, all this number skipping raises another question. If we're so afraid of 13, what about room 666? Well, that's a whole different rabbit hole. Some hotels skip it too, but others lean into the spooky vibes and turn it into a tourist attraction. Because hey, if you can't beat the superstition, you might as well profit from it. At the end of the day, the missing 13th floor is a mix of psychology, tradition, and good old-fashioned marketing. Hotels know that perception is everything. If skipping a number makes guests feel safer, even if it's completely illogical, then why not? It's a small change that makes a big difference in customer satisfaction. So, the next time you're in a hotel elevator, take a look at the buttons. If there's no 13, you're in on the secret. And if there is a 13th floor, well, maybe it's time to test your bravery. Just don't blame me if you hear creepy noises at midnight. Remember, whether you're on the 12th, 14th, or definitely not haunted, 13th floor, it's all just numbers in the end. Unless, of course, you hear footsteps when no one's around. But hey, that's probably just room service, right? If you enjoyed learning about the mysterious case of the missing 13th floor, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you've ever noticed this quirky superstition in real life. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments as well. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.